Welcome to the Angel Investors Network podcast, the first national angel group founded online in 1997, dedicated to perpetuating free enterprise, capitalism, and supporting the American dream. In addition, Angel Investors Network is the organization behind the powerful Mastermind Investment Club, dedicated to harnessing the philosophy of a mastermind to increase success with their investment portfolio. Laura Rubenstein is a social media and marketing strategist and founder of the Social Buzz Club. On the podcast, Laura brings together successful entrepreneurs to share with you how they grow their business, and you can too. And now, here's your host, Laura Rubenstein.
Well, here we are with another edition of the Angel Investors Network podcast. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host today, and we've got a great show. We are moving your startup business to the next level. I'm here with Reb Risty, and she's the head RebL at RebL Marketing here in San Diego. And RebL Marketing provides professional marketers that act as your marketing team. They provide everything from your CMO, your marketing manager, social media specialist, PR specialist, web development. Basically, they sit on your side of the table to help you with marketing strategy, planning, and execution. And Reb, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be with you today.
Yeah, so I know you're here in San Diego, but did you grow up here or where did you grow up?
So I'm an Army brat. I lived around the whole world. Actually born in Augusta, Georgia, and lived overseas for a while. My dad was stationed in Germany and Korea. And by way of Virginia, went to school in Virginia Tech, followed my husband, then fiance, in the Navy out to San Diego. And that's how I ended up out here.
Yeah,
And we love it. We love it.
Nothing not to love out here. And so you traveled around the world, lived around the world because of the military. How'd you get started in business?
Well, it's funny. I think that I always had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I didn't really know it until I started my MBA program at San Diego State. And I ended up taking a class with Giles Bateman, who was the former CFO for Price Club, which, as many people know, turned into Costco or merged with Costco. So that's kind of where I started getting the bug to really want to start my own business, explore entrepreneurship. Instead of doing a thesis, I did a couple of business plan competitions for the university with the MBA program, and it really kind of went from there. I did end up, taking on a professional position with on the client side. So I actually worked at Qualcomm for a while, worked at one of the big agencies here in town, which I loved and really enjoyed. And I always knew I would go back to it, working in some kind of a format where we're being very creative. And then, kind of the downturn in the economy in '08, I got laid off like a lot of people did. And I did what a lot of people do. I started my own business. I started consulting. So I did that for a while, but it wasn't quite the right time for me. And I realized I just went and found another position, but it was good because I learned a lot as I was moving along in these different positions. And finally, a couple of years ago, I realized it was time, and I had the experience and the knowledge to go out, and I started full-time RebL Marketing last year, and it's been nonstop. I thought I would have a little bit of a break. I was wrong. It's just go, go, go. But it's good.
So what do you like most about the work you do now with RebL Marketing?
I really enjoy working with different clients. That was one of the things. I'm a creative, so I like to move around and change things up. And so I love working with different clients. So I'm working on a rebrand project for one client, working on several website projects, everything from email campaigns, social media. So it's been good because I'm learning every day and also challenged every day. I always wake up and open up my computer, my laptop, and email with a little bit of excitement and a little bit of nervousness. But I really enjoyed it. And I've been fortunate. I have a great client list, a really good, solid team with me now. And it's been fun. There's always days where you're like, why am I doing this? But overall, it's been great.
The life of an entrepreneur. So you can do it too. What are some of the common mistakes that you see clients making?
Patience. I feel like, when a client does come to us, it's usually because they're at a point where they're growing, things are building, and they just want to they're in a go, go, go mode, as we all often are. And so with marketing, it always is a little bit of a longer strategy. And so when we're implementing things that they haven't used before, like social media, uh, search engine optimization, content, it takes a while to establish that foundation and build it. And so, as an entrepreneur myself, I know it's hard to be patient, but it really, you just got to give good marketing tactics and strategies some time to grow and develop.
So how do you work with a client that's like getting impatient? How do you help reconcile that for them?
I pull my hair a little, and then, um, one of the things that we've implemented and we've learned is a really good communication. And so we do weekly action plans. So the client's very clear on what's happened in the previous week, what we've accomplished, and what we're going to accomplish for the coming week. And we do analytics reports at the end of every month. And so I've found that helps a lot because they see, how we all are. We kind of go and work and put our heads down. But if the client is seeing that, it's hard for them to really understand because marketing isn't what they're good at. They're good at their business. And so it's my job to make sure that they understand what's happening on the marketing side and what the team's doing and what the accomplishments are and how we're adjusting and moving forward for them.
Yeah, it's managing those expectations, setting and communicating where you're at and what the plan is, giving them a roadmap. It almost sounds like, the path already traced. Very,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
key.
Being very clear about that.
So, what is the best advice you ever received along your entrepreneurial path here?
Learn to say no. Um, because I'm definitely much of that nature where I want to please people. Um, and so one of the best pieces of advice someone gave me, who was a former boss, was I've got to learn to say no. And so that has been very helpful. I don't always listen to that advice, but I do try. And it does get me out of things that I know would eventually get myself into trouble. So
So, how do you know when to say no?
Uh, her advice was just say, "Let me think about it." So give yourself time before you give any answer, and that has been very helpful.
Hmm, great. You don't have to give an immediate answer at the moment.
Exactly.
So, what advice would you give to a new startup?
Learn to say no. It is true. It goes both ways. I think, especially when you're in startup mode, and I caught myself in this. You say yes to every client and every opportunity, but you have to realize your time is the most valuable thing you have, especially in your startup mode. And so, if you're saying yes to everything and you're overloading your schedule and your team, your budget, it will eventually slow you down, and it could you could crash or trip pretty hard. So, and I've done it. So I know that you have to, I've already had to say no to certain types of clients because I know now they're not the right fit. And it really, in the long run, it saves a lot of grief and heartburn for everybody.
Yeah, and you mentioned prioritizing your time. What time management tips would you offer?
Um, one of the best things I did was turning off my alerts on my email. So I do go in the morning. I try to tap in. I try to make sure I check every email that's most important. But I noticed if there was when it would pop up alerts because you're always getting email, I'd keep clicking on it and it distracts you. Another good thing is on my team we've implemented a tool called Asana, which helps us manage our tasks, and then we can put those in order in which they need to get done. And it also ties into our timekeeping system. You can clearly see how much time you're spending on a task, how much time we have budgeted for those types of things per client. So it does help the team. And yeah, and email, I find though that the just turning off that alert helps a lot.
Yeah. And the time management tool again is Asana, Asana. That's great.
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. So what's
Yeah,
working
it's a
for
project management.
Go
Oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say project management, and we've integrated a timekeeping tool.
Wonderful. Um, what's working for you to attract more business?
A lot of my clients are also professional services. Is one of the things I'm realizing, we will always be very referral relationship based businesses. So what's working for me is referrals, being sure I'm out there and networking, but that one of my clients is one of my best, I call her my cheerleader. So the better we do for her, the better people see that. And so she's really been a great referral source. I'm also part of some executive roundtables, and I've gotten some really good referral sources through those. So networking, um, and just getting out there as I'm building my brand and my own marketing campaigns has been really important in these first few months and as I'm growing.
Great. And grassroots on the ground marketing from the marketing mentor here. It's great. So what would you like to share that I haven't yet asked you?
It's a great question. I've been fortunate to have some really good mentors and to also mentor a few young ladies. And one of the things that I've found is just to believe in yourself, like really try to find that core belief in it sounds maybe cliche, but take some risks, be able to go out there. When I mentor young students, especially in marketing, the great thing about marketing is we have lots of options and there's different things we can try and do. And so I tell my young mentees to really be bold, try new things. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's also key.
Yeah. So what are some of the other secrets behind your growth at Rebel?
Um, we've been very fortunate. I grew really fast at the beginning of the year. And so one of the things that we've done is really kind of working now on our processes, our guidelines, putting in tools that help us automate things. Before, it's easy when it's just yourself. But once you start bringing on team members and you add on clients, all of a sudden there's multiple things happening at one time. And so the way we can automate, create processes, templates. Yeah, so putting those standards and standardizing things across the board has been very helpful for us as a team because we can then, as we bring on new team members and new clients, we've got processes in place. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. That's been very, very helpful.
Wonderful. Has any of that or something else been most effective?
Um, Asana has helped a lot for visibility, to see what as the owner and the head rebel, to see what my team's doing, to see what's getting completed and things are on time, what they need help with. And so doing things like that has been very helpful versus email. Things get lost in email. So yeah.
Wonderful time management. And well, it's the project management tool tied to the time management system as well. How
Yeah.
important is the time management part of that, the time tracking?
It's very important. As a business owner, I have to understand my margins. So one of the things I'm learning all about is QuickBooks and job costing and margin analysis and understanding, where my team's spending their hours and are we charging the right rates. And so I'm a creative, I'm a marketing person. So finance and accounting is not my thing. But actually, it's funny enough, I work with a great outsourced accounting firm, Pro Back Office, and they do all of that for me. And it's been good. But as a business owner, those are the things that you have to learn.
Well, speaking of the thing you love, marketing, how do you get your message to stand out in a crowded marketplace?
um, it starts with my core branding. So everything from the RebL Marketing, our website, our logo, our messaging. I went with the tagline "Revolutionize Your Marketing" at the beginning of the year, and that's been really good. So just kind of at that core, the rest of the team as well, internally building that branding with your team, so that when they're going out and they're talking, and then doing all the things that I tell my clients to do. We optimize SEO on our website. We're creating content. We're on social media, and it's just we're trying to do best practices for ourselves as we do them for our clients. And I'm not saying we're always that good at it because clients come first, but yeah, it's just like I said, be patient, build our brand, build our equity, and the business will
Wonderful. Is there anything that's working best out of all those?
come. That's a good question. It's always a combination. Although it's amazing when we did go through and re-optimize our site at the beginning of the year, it did make a big difference. So just little tweaks, cleaning things up. You think you've got. It's always good to go through and clean things up.
Yeah, I find that clients come and they say, "Oh, I'm going to get a website, or I'm going to get on social media," and then all this deluge. They're expecting a deluge of business to come their way, and
Yep.
like you said, it takes time. And have you found anything that brings the deluge in?
um, lots of money to put behind.
It's
Uh,
true, right?
it is true. Marketing, there's two sides, right? There's where the long term, where the content and the organic growth, and that's really, a big focus of what we do. But we do the paid advertising for our clients as well, and those are going to get the faster, more immediate results. But even then, if it's a fairly new client, they haven't established their brand, they haven't gotten their messaging out, it's still all is a process to build.
Indeed, yes. So, what is your biggest marketing challenge now?
Time. Time to actually spend it on my own marketing.
Yeah. So your product, you're an example for most entrepreneurs who need an outsourced marketing team to be that for them.
I know
And,
I need my own outsourced
right?
marketing.
That's great. Well, thank you again for being with us. We loved learning about your journey and the marketing you're doing and the advice you've given our entrepreneurs to get their startup growing and going. We'll be back again with another episode real soon of Angel Investors Network podcast.
Thank you.
This show has been produced by Market Domination LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.